What makes a person strong? Is it being very physically strong or being very smart? Being the best in a category of your choosing, like sports or fucking cooking? Is it the ability to rely solely on yourself? No. What makes a person strong is the ability to recognize themselves, to see their flaws, and to show them to the people who they truly connect with. And I can't think of a better example of this, at least in anime, than Kageyama Shigeo, aka Mob. Mob is your average, honestly boring middle school student. He's not very smart, super unathletic, and not really attractive. Be looking majestic sometimes though. However, he's the strongest psychic in the world. He can effortlessly destroy buildings and erase terrifying spirits in a second. What does he do with this insane level of power? He works for the greatest fraud of all time, Arataka Reigen. Your average con artist who started up a psychic business hoping to rake in money from desperate people. Unlike Mob, he has absolutely zero psychic powers. Yet through master manipulation, he convinces Mob that he's the strongest psychic of the century. This dynamic is one of my favorites in all of media, but we'll dive deeper into that later. Let's first talk about Mob's character as a whole. Throughout the story, Mob constantly struggles with his powers. He wants something far more important to him than being the strongest psychic. He wants to relate to others and form connections. Since Mob was young, he's always had trouble relating to others because of his psychic powers. That's originally why he went to Reigen, to find someone he could relate to. And I think it's great that although Reigen has no powers, unlike Mob, he relates to Mob the most out of anyone in the series, and he really understands Mob because at the end of the day, Reigen used to be a dork too, with no real friends. I'm so sorry, it hurts talking about my goat like that, but it's true. It's just so satisfying seeing Mob grow from this scared little kid with no friends to someone who understands how important human relationships are. And I think Mob is a character we can all relate to. Everyone has flaws that they want to work on, and seeing someone like Mob constantly try to improve is honestly inspiring. I think another big part of what makes Mob's character so good is how he uses his overwhelming power. Instead of solely just trying to save people and obliterate the bad guys, he uses his power to try and change the bad guys. And this can't be seen better than with the main antagonist of Season 2, Chochiro Suzuki. Suzuki is the complete opposite of Mob. He was born with an insane amount of psychic power on the same level as Mob practically, although he does get fraud checked in Season 3, and he uses his powers as expected. Instead of Suzuki trying to make his powers only a part of his life like Mob, he becomes obsessed with them. It controls his life and every decision he makes, and eventually he becomes nothing more than just his powers. This parallel, although pretty simple, makes for some incredible interactions between the two characters. I won't go into the fight itself to avoid spoilers, their season 2 fight, but if you haven't watched it yet, please do. It's got some of my favorite moments in all of anime, and the fight itself is top tier. It's honestly like Boros versus Saitama level kind of animation for the fight. I think the main reason why Mob doesn't end up like Suzuki, and this is honestly proven in his fight against Mogami, are because of the people he surrounds himself with. Let's start by talking about the Body Improvement Club. These guys are the ultimate chads, the ultimate ride or dies. It's like if you took Toto and multiplied him by 5. They're that goated. When you first get introduced to them, for a split second, you think these guys are stereotypical jocks. But when Mob decides to join their club instead of the telepathy club to impress his crush, all of these guys instantly support him. Even though Mob is way physically weaker than them, they constantly push him to keep going, and they even broke the no violence rule when Mob was fighting Shibata to save Mob. They even let the telepathy club share a room with them so they wouldn't get disbanded. For me, this is what a lot of gym culture should aspire to be like, and these dudes are only in middle school. Another really important character and Mob's rival slash friend is Teru. We're first introduced to him during the first season, and he's a complete jackass. And again, another villain that couldn't be any more different from Mob. His whole personality is defined by his powers and him being the strongest in his school. At first, he doesn't understand Mob and doesn't get why he doesn't use his powers for himself. But after some belt to ass by Mob, he realizes he's just an average person like everyone else. And let me just say, after this, especially in season 2 and 3, Taro becomes such a fucking dog. He's always the first person to notice something is off and immediately rushes to the scene just to get fraud checked, but it's so cool. And his final fight with Mob is so fucking amazing. It's one of, if not my favorite moments in season 3, where Teru finally wins against Mob. Mob's brother, Ritsu, and Dimple are also both good ass characters. I love how both Ritsu and Mob are jealous of each other for completely different reasons in the first season, and how Ritsu's terrifying fear came to fruition with Mob going berserk in season 3. But he still tries to stand and fight his older brother despite the insane power difference. Dimple is another great and fucking hilarious character. His entire goal in the start of the show is to form a religion and become God, but one of the times he tries this, Mob gets snatched and brought to the cult, where Mob proceeds to put belt to ass again and beat the brakes off Dimple, no sweat. Then Dimple becomes this little fart thing that floats around, and he ends up hanging out with Mob, hoping that one day he can possess his body and become a true god. He reaches this level in season 3 with the divine tree becoming God Dimple. He then brainwashes everyone in Mob City and tries to fight Mob again, not remembering the last time he tried to do that. It's a great fucking fight, but by the end, because of some terrible ass monkey shirt Mob was wearing, he got that shit on though. He was able to connect with Mob and realize that he would be much happier helping Mob and Reigen than becoming a god. Now to talk about the man, the myth, the fraud himself, Reigen. You can't really talk about Mob Psycho or even Mob himself without mentioning his master, Reigen. They have such a unique and fucking hilarious dynamic that I haven't seen in anime before. The things both of them go out of the way to do for each other is insane and honestly very heartwarming. Reigen is sort of like an uncle for Mob, and although Reigen believes he's just using Mob, he doesn't understand how much he's connected with Mob and how much respect he's gained from Mob, watching him grow from this shy little kid to this confident young man. And this all comes to a climax during the final season. I don't want to spoil anything for those who haven't watched it, but fuck, the ending was so good. One of my favorites I've seen in a long time. Again, not to go too much into it, but Reigen finally accepts that he's a fraud and shows Mob the real him. And similarly, Mob accepts a part of him he's been trying to avoid for the whole series, his tremendous amount of power, which finally lets him calm down from his berserk mode and lets him ask out his crush, Tsubomi. Fuck her though. Being able to do this, being able to accept the worst parts of you despite how scary they are or how much you don't want others to see it, this is much harder than taking over your school or becoming God or taking over the world. This is why Mob Psycho shows us what true testosterone is. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. This video took fucking forever to make for some reason. And if you guys have like any animes or any manga you guys want me to cover, leave that down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to cover pretty much anything. I love making these kind of videos and I will definitely be making more soon. So please like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. See y'all in the next one.